Alright, so in this video, I'm just going to go over just some setups I see for next week in the markets. Hopefully this can kind of give you some insight into how I trade the markets, especially in options, in this short little video. So one of the main stocks that we're going to be watching for next week is Netflix. If you kind of look at a weekly time frame, which is really important kind of in how we do our analysis in the markets, a lot of it's based off of, starting at the larger time frames and then starting to work our way down. So you can kind of see here, and I'll move this over onto a daily, but uh, you can kind of see Netflix killed earnings, right? So they smashed earnings out of the park. They beat estimations and everything. So really good move to the upside. This was awesome because for the longest time, Netflix was kind of just trading sideways, not really doing much, and then you finally had this monstrous move, which is setting us up now for more opportunities. But so we came up here, huge gap up, and we pulled back, right? We sold pretty hard on this move after earnings. It was pretty high in relation to where it was. Kind of the way we look at markets though is in waves, right? So you had this move higher, we pulled back on this. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail on kind of how I found these levels here, but um, we basically kind of figured out where Netflix was going to find some bid. So we kind of found this 1515, 1520 area. Again, it's never to the T, but Netflix came down. We finally got some bid here. So this had a pretty good reaction of price off this level, which really is what kind of brought this to my attention. You can kind of see on an hourly time frame, right? So sold off, caught some bid, moved up. And if you kind of notice here, looking at this, I'm gonna go to a different time frame for a second, but you still kind of have this uptrend intact, right? Just basic trend trading principles, right? From these lows, you still kind of have this move higher, right? If I kind of look at it like that. Another way to kind of look at this as well, in the last week or so, this has just been making. If I look at this on a different time frame, right, we've been making higher lows. Oh, sorry, my drawing tool's not. There we go. We've been kind of making higher lows on this, right? And you're kind of stuck in this range, right? You kind of come up here, you test these levels, and we failed, right? And we come up here, test these again. This pulls back, but again, you're making higher lows on this, which is really interesting. So Thursday you had a pretty good run at this. This moved up, we pulled back. Again, higher lows are being made. So I'm basically looking for kind of what we would consider wave symmetry. So, on a larger time frame, I'm basically looking for, you had the move higher, we're pulling back, and now I'm looking for this to probably continue higher. So pretty basic wave symmetry. And again, you can really kind of tell when looking on a smaller time frame, right? Just the move, the pullback, move here, this is pulling back, and then you're probably going to look for a move higher. So what are my entry triggers going to be on this next week? I usually use like a 4-hour time frame. So for me, if I can get above, if we can open up above kind of these candles here, again, I like to use the open and close of candles, especially on a 4-hour. It makes for some pretty good trading. You can kind of see if we looked at Fridays, you had a pretty good reaction of price off this level. So this sold off, came up, sold off. So we are getting kind of reaction at this price. So I think if Netflix can open up above and really break through 555, in the morning, especially right out of the bell, if you take out these highs, I think it's a straight shot higher. So what am I going to target on this? Again, it's really important to have kind of predetermined targets ahead of time when you're trading the markets. So something I like to do and that I'm a big fan of is Fibonacci extensions and retracements. So basically what we do is we use these things to kind of calculate, predetermine based off of former moves, kind of what they're going to do. So 50% of the magnitude basically of this whole pullback from this move is going to give us a move up here to 567. So again, if we can break through these highs, I really think Netflix has a shot. I would target 570. After that, you can maybe see 580. So, a 20-point options trade on Netflix is pretty significant. If you structure your trade correctly with the right options, you can have a pretty good trade there. So all I'm going to do into next week, I'm going to come in and I'm just going to set alerts on this. So bid is at or above. Okay, so when this triggers, I don't even have to think twice about this, right? I can jump in as soon as price kind of breaks above here. I can jump in, get long, and look for the move higher. So that's kind of the play on Netflix. Another trade I'm looking at is Beyond Meat. This was another stock, which has just been on an absolute tear. I mean, looking at this on a weekly is just insane, right? You had this huge move, basically $100 a share in about 3 weeks. So, you had this move. Obviously, it went too high too fast. So a move like this isn't sustainable. So in the last, week, you kind of just see on this weekly, we've been pulling back. And, we found some support at this weekly price level here. Again, markets they trade really from level to level. So we're kind of just trying to figure out where we think buyers are going to step in and start bidding this up. So another thing we did was a Fibonacci retracement. So super simple. I just took I'll kind of just show you, but nope, not extend, remove. So all I did here was kind of like the Fibonacci extension. This is a retracement. So when you have kind of a defined move to the upside, this is basically saying, the magnitude of this move, if you cut that in half, that's 50%. So usually a lot of floor traders, prop traders, and banks will kind of look at the 50% as kind of a target for where they think it could trade to. So we kind of saw some reaction off of this 50% and this weekly level in here. You can kind of see we've sold off pretty hard, but you're starting to form a base in here, and I really like what's kind of setting up here on Beyond Meat. I think you can kind of just see we're just trading sideways, right? So basically, when you get to these levels, banks, institutions, hedge funds, they're going to come in and they're going to start buying these lows, and they're just going to start accumulating shares, and we're just looking for this to really make the move out. So kind of similar to Netflix in that sense as well. So again, if I look at this on a 4-hour, I really want to see if the markets, we can get bid above kind of this 171. If that happens, I'll be targeting, kind of this move up here to 176, 180. If those levels clear, then maybe it has a shot at kind of 190, but again, I'm not really too sure. So that's just kind of 2 trades I'm looking at next week. I also have a position right now on Intel. Not doing too hot on this. I'm down about 248, but the contracts I'm long are in the money, so I'm not getting killed on time decay. I really like the setup on the weekly. Again, kind of what we're seeing, just kind of a reoccurring pattern, right? Move up, pull back. We got some bid off these lows here at this 50, and now I'm long ahead of time looking for the move higher. So kind of a wave symmetry pattern as well. So that's kind of the lesson on this. Hope you learned something. We'll see about Netflix and Beyond Meat next week. So take care.